Hey guys, so welcome to another project analysis video. So today we are talking about Tengah Garden Residences.
This is the first ever condo launch in Tengah.
Yup, so without further ado, let's start.
Today we will be talking about three main points. Firstly is the project information, secondly Tengah Garden's pricing strategy, and also the layout analysis. For this project, it's actually at District 24 with 863 residential unit and commercial unit at the first story. The estimated TOP date will be 1st September 2029.
Yep.
And developer will be Hong Leong, CSC Land Group, and also Guaco.
Okay, so developer track across are as follow. Landlord Modern, Landlord Mansion, even Springleaf, which is the one that we bought. Yeah, so apparently all these developers, they are buying a lot of lands to build more projects. So that's why recently all the launches are all by them. Okay, so a little bit on the location itself. So Tengah Garden Residences is here. Okay, so it's right beside the Hong Kah MRT station. So this is the future Jurong region line. So like 4 stops you can get to Boon Lay MRT, and also like 5 stops you can get to Jurong East MRT. So talking a little bit on the site map. Okay, so the direction, so this is north. Okay, so on top here, this is a hospital. This one is the MRT. Okay, so MRT here, all this blue little thing is the pond. It's a man-made pond now. Okay, so one interesting thing about this development here is, right, you can notice that actually this pool for a 863 units development, this pool is actually not very big. It's just like that. There isn't a lot of pools, so normally there will be a few pools lah. Okay, so you can get also, so what the developer gave you also is tennis court, of course, and this extra paddle court. This extra paddle court over here, which is not common, and this is on top of a function room. So you can see that normally nowadays developers, they don't just cater tennis courts to you guys, they also cater like paddle courts really and pickleball courts.
Okay, so for the prices are super attractive, starting from 1 bedder 980,000, 2 bedder 1.11 million, 3 bedder 1.588 million, and 4 bedder 2.288 million. So with these attractive prices, is it safe to enter the smaller units? So one big question a lot of people ask is it still safe to enter the smaller units like the 1 and 2 bedroom? Okay, the problem now is the demand for this smaller unit, 1 and 2 bedroom, is weaker as compared to the bigger units, the 3 bed and above.
Yeah, so to see if it makes sense to enter the smaller size units, right, especially if you are an investor looking to buy a 1 or 2 bedder, right, let's look at the next few case studies which we will elaborate. So we take a look at Santorini. So Santorini actually TOP in 2017. So you can see the transactions over here in 2019, 2020. The 1 bedder only made around 20k or lesser. Okay, so it's very minimal. Okay, so why? Because, right, one thing to know is, right, you need to time your exit properly. These Santorini owners, they actually tried to sell in a period in 2019 and 2020 whereby there is an influx of supply from the competitors. So take a look at this. This is the Alps and Tapestry. So both TOP in 2019 and 2020. Okay, so you can see that the 1 bedroom plus 1 bedroom and 1 bedroom plus study, the supply here and here, there was an increase of 451 small units. Okay, so competition too high is a little bit harder to offload compared to a region whereby there is a very few competitor around there. So simple logic lah. So like today, 1 bedder in this Tengah Garden only 6 units, but surrounding is all easy. There's no 1 bedder, so 6 units. You are not fighting anybody else. You're just fighting among yourself.
So is it a concern to buy the smaller units? Looking at this area, yes, but then again, it's a no if you know how to time your exit properly. Yeah,
so what she meant was, like, for example, right, if the Santorini owners, when they TOP, they straight went out to sell, right, you can actually get a higher profit compared to when you sell in 2019 and 2020. Okay, so next we look at River Isle, which TOP in 2015. So the 1 bedder, you can see it's very healthy profits, 100,000+. So how come? How come one area, 1 bedder makes more money while the other one at the Tampines area don't make money? Okay, so we dive deep into the surrounding unit types. For River Isle, 1 bedder 15 units, okay, over here. Then it's surrounded by all these EC, which the sizes start from 2 bedder and above. So this is very similar to Tengah, I would say.
Because Tengah is the first condo in this area, right?
Yeah.
So the EC minimum usually is starting from 2 bed and above. They very rarely for EC they will build like 2 beds, and very uncommon they will build 1 bed. So for this project, Tengah Gardens, if let's say you are going into Tengah Gardens as a 1 or 2 bedder, you won't have much competition. So if you are an investor looking for a smaller unit, then I think it's worth a try. There's actually an opportunity over here lah.
Yeah, because your competitors, right, the Copen Grand, Lumina, all those, there's only 3 bedders and above. There's no 1 or 2 bedders. So the 1 and 2 bedders in this Tengah Garden, we will say it's worth a look if you really want to invest in a smaller property. Okay, but one thing is, you might be wondering where will your future demand comes from. Okay, so we take a look at Tengah, right? This whole Tengah population over here, the total number of units is 20 plus thousand. Okay, so what you need is, right, for let's say for example, you're just buying a 2-bedder, what you need here is you just need 5% of the MOP population, right, of the 3-room flat sellers in Tengah who doesn't need a bigger size. 5% of them, they just want to remain as a 2-bedder because they have a small family, they don't have kids. Then that will be your demand pool. And 5% is not a small figure as well.
When do you exit for your smaller unit if you are an investor looking at this smaller unit? Your window will be to exit before the next condo TOP in Tengah. So this is unknown for now because there's no upcoming plans for a new condo in this area. So it's still quite safe, I would say.
Yeah, so we just brought our friend down to view Tengah as well, and the concern is the next plot of condo that will be coming out in Tengah. But of course, there's no news yet, and even if there is a new site that's being released, right, developers still need to bid. So upon that, you still need 15 months before you can officially come out to sell to public. Then plus the building stage, maybe 3 to 4 years. By then, you already sold your unit already after SSD of 4 years. Okay. We talk about your competitors now. So if you're looking for a 3-bedder and above at Tengah Garden Residences, so we call it TGR for short form lah. So when do you exit if you want to buy a 3-bedder? So take a look. These are your main 5 competitors here. Copen Grand, which they actually collected their keys last year end. Okay, Altura, Lumina, they actually collected their keys this year. And Novo Place and Auto Place. So you can see what you can do is, right, because Tengah Residence is around 2029 TOP. Okay, so your main competitor here will be Copen Grand when they MOP in 2030, whereby there will be 600 plus units that will be coming out to compete with you guys. Okay, so if you can sell right after your SSD in 2029, I think it's your fight. Your competitors won't be very strong lah. You don't have a lot of competition also. But even if you go until 2030 when you sell, it's still okay. You only got 600 plus competitors.
Quite safe.
Yes, but if you don't sell and you decide to hold until 2031 when Altura MOP or Lumina Grand MOP, there will be an influx of 800 plus units. Then that's when your competitors will be 1000 plus. Okay, so if it's like that, what we recommend is if you decide to buy a unit, a 3-bedder at Tengah Garden Residences, right, you can actually wait until 2032 when the wave for Altura and Lumina Grand, the buyers are over, then of course then you can come out to sell.
This is to avoid to be in a situation where you are like fighting against so many 3 and 4 bedders.
Yeah, but of course, one thing to know is when they MOP and come out to sell, they are already stayed for 5 years. But yours is brand new, provided that you never rent out and you never stay and you never do any renovation. Because some TOP owners that we actually met is they don't want to renovate at all because they want to leave it to their future buyers. And we served a few buyers before also. They don't want to buy a unit that recently TOP, but the owner stayed in for 3 months and they did some small rental. They don't want that because they want like brand new. Okay?
So moving on the Tengah Gardens Residences pricing strategy, let's do a prediction for the pricing strategy. 3 types of developer pricing strategy. This one we covered before in our previous video. Okay, namely the first, the view jump, the second, unit type jump, and third, floor level jump.
So for this project, what is our prediction? We feel that this project will likely go for the view jump because they are facing the pond, and also the unit type jump. That means the bigger it gets, the more expensive it gets. Okay, so the ones facing the pool, of course, they will generate a premium, and bigger units will have a premium as well. So if you look at the site map previously, right, over here, let me show you guys, all these are 4 bedders. So if unit type jump plus view jump, you will be paying a lot of premium on these pond facing units. Okay, so you have to take that in mind. Okay, so in order to get a better buy for TGR, we have to identify where is exactly the sweet spot purchase.
Okay, so we take a look at the view first. The top is actually facing the hospital.
Yep.
And then the bottom is actually facing the pond.
Yep.
And on the right side is actually facing the Hong Kah MRT. Okay, so how to find the sweet spot based on developer pricing for this project? We try to avoid the best view facing, but you still get the pond view because the unique selling point is actually the pond view.
The partial pond view lah.
And then for the 3 beds and below, we will recommend block 19 and 17. Why? Because it's quite close to MRT. MRT track is about 8 to 10 levels high, and we'll have the noise. So our prediction will be the price wise will be attractive for these 2 blocks.
Yeah, might be cheaper compared to the rest because too close to the MRT already. Okay, so you get for this area, right? You can see, right? The 3 bedders, actually what you can get is you actually get like partial view of the pond, but you don't pay the full premium, like even this stack 23. You don't get the full premium. You don't pay the full premium because of the closeness to the MRT. So block 17 and 19, we believe will be the sweet spot over here. So if you can try to get at around the mid floor, I would say, if the developer doesn't look on the per floor jump, right, then of course you can go as high as possible. But if they look on the per floor jump, then mid floor and below. Okay, so for the 4 bed, you can see that, like what we mentioned earlier, they are generally facing the pool, except for all these inwards facing. But inwards facing, some also still got small view of the pond. Okay, so for 4 bed, what we want to highlight here is, right, 4 bed generally is for own stay. Okay, so for own stay, the buyers come in, right, they must have a 很好的感觉, okay, so they must have a wow factor, and it's based on a lot of emotions compared to an investor. Okay, so if majority of the 4 bedders are facing pond to get the wow effect, and you are not facing the pond, like let's say if you decide to go for these, you're not facing pond, then you lose out on the wow factor, I would say. So you might have difficulty selling in future. I wouldn't say you can't sell, but you might take a longer time to sell compared to your neighbors facing the pond. Okay, for the 4 bedders, what we feel is the sweet spot is stack 3 over here and stack 29. So why? Okay, so stack 3 balcony over here, stack 29 balcony over here, you still got partial pond view. Okay, then compared to all these 51, 50, 45, 44. Okay, this one direct pond facing. This might be the sweet spot for the 4 bed because you got semi pond view and you might be getting a cheaper price. And also the layout for these 2, we personally feel is better than these 4. Okay, so the bottom ones, why? Because the bottom ones, right, all these 4, right, the kitchen has no glass panel. So that means when you're cooking, it's just a solid wall also over there. So for 4 bed, I think when you are buying a 4 bed, all these small little details actually comes into play, whereby when you're cooking in the kitchen, you want to be able to see your kids. And also it creates a wider and bigger living room effect if you have a glass panel.
Okay? Also the natural light will come in.
Yeah, so if can, go for these 2 stacks. For 4 bedders, this might be the sweet spot.
For the layout, let's touch on the 1 bedroom layout first. For 1 bedroom, we actually have 2 layouts. Okay, firstly, the first layout will be 484 square feet unit. Okay, quite common layout. Come in, you actually get your kitchen on your left side or your right side, and then dining and living, and then onto your PES. For one side, you will get your master bedroom and also your bath. Okay, and the bath is usually connected to your master and also the common area. So just to share a bit more on the 1 bedroom, we actually have very limited 1 bedroom in this project, just 6 units of 1 bedroom. Okay, and for this layout, you have 3 units. The next layout, we also have 3 units. You can see that developer is slowly trying to shift away from 1 bedder in the new projects. So with lesser and lesser 1 bedder built in the OCR region, normally it's just the first floor.
Yeah. Okay, so 1 bedder, we have 6 units, so we don't dwell too much onto the layout because if you can get it, then happy for you. You still can get decent rental, okay? So, but for these 2 layout, because 484 vs 517, right? Investors wise, they will be a little bit more price sensitive here. You need to be more price sensitive because 30 plus square feet difference, but then the rental, you won't get a very big difference if you want to rent out in future. So if you can, go for the smaller ones. So moving on to the 2 bedrooms layout.
For 2-bed, we actually have 4 layout, 3 without the study and 1 layout with the study. In the first layout, 2-bed, 1 bath, 624 square feet. Go in, you have your kitchen tucked nicely on one corner, and then dumbbell layout, you have your common bedroom on one side and your master bedroom on the other side. Okay, master toilet is also connecting to your living area. Okay, for investor looking for, this one is actually more for investor looking for rental play lah.
Yeah, so one thing to know is you can see that actually for the 2-bedders, they all gave glass panel in the kitchen over here. Over here, okay, wait. Over this side.
And then moving on, we have the 2-bed, 2 bath. So for 2-bed, 1 bath, we already have 1 layout. Okay, 2-bed, 2 bath, 657 square feet. Quite similar to what you have just now, but then for this you actually have 2 bath, and the master is only connected to the master bedroom, where else your common is connected to your living and also your common bedroom. This layout can actually cater for our own stay, but I would say it's more towards the rental play part. It's a bit too small for family. Then the next 2-bed, 2 bath, 667 square feet. It's just 10 square feet bigger than the previous layout lah. Not much difference in the layout, I would say. You also get your kitchen that is tucked nicely in one corner, a dumbbell layout, quite similar to what you have just now.
Okay, so the last layout for the 2-bedders will be the 2-bed plus study, 753 square feet. Okay, so this square feet difference is close to 90 square feet difference. Okay, so 200k more to actually get another study area over here, and also a slightly bigger toilet compared to the 2-bed, 2 bath just now. You get a dedicated study area. You can enclose it. This can fit a super single over here. Just now I went to the SHOWFLAT already. Okay, this one can be your helper's room. If you have a very small family with 1 kid, I think still okay. But as always in all the developments that we have covered, right, this 2-bed plus study, the size is very, very close to the 3-bed compact. Okay, there's only a 44 square feet difference. The 3-bed compact is 797. Okay, so if you have the budget, let's say you are looking at a 2-bedder and you actually stretch 200k difference to come up to a 2-bed plus study, the size, what we would suggest is actually if you can stretch another 100k more to go to a 3-bed compact, because in the resale market, a 3-bed compact has higher demand compared to a 2-bed plus study.
For the 3-bedroom, the first layout will be the 3-bed compact, 797 square feet unit. First thing to note is there's no window in the kitchen. Okay, and secondly, we have a long walkway. It's functional, but then if you realize one of the bedroom is not your usual kind of position, it's actually in front of the kitchen. Okay, I would say good for those who want to upsize from a 2 plus study to a 3-bedroom with 3 proper bedroom, because the price gap, like what Alvin said earlier, is just less than about 100k difference compared to the 2 plus study.
Yeah, 100k difference, 75% loan is just 25k more cash.
And you get a better exit strategy.
Yeah. Okay, the second layout, 818 square feet. So this is a conventional layout, good size. Kitchen, you have windows, they give you windows. Okay, so it's better compared to 3A, the previous layout. 21 square feet difference, probably around 40 to 50k difference. Okay, so if your queue number is good, I feel go for this layout compared to the other one. You can cater to more people when you want to exit in future. Third layout, 829 square feet. Okay, so we have a bigger foyer over here. It's not very necessary, but if you really go for this unit, you can do extra storage cabinets over here or your shoe cabinets. Okay, because no store, that's why you need more cupboards and cabinet space lah. Okay, so not much difference in functionality compared to 3B, the earlier one. If you have a good queue, please go for 3B first. If can't, then settle for 3C, which is this layout, because there are more stacks for you to choose from. Okay, but we're just slightly confused why the developer actually built solid walls for the kitchen for the first 3 bedrooms also, while the 2 beds they actually gave glass panels. So it's not actually a deal breaker over here, because this one you can hack down and do your own glass panel lah. Okay, but I think it would be better if you actually gave glass panel as the 3-bedder, because this is primarily for own stay and you can cook in the kitchen and monitor your kids, like our new house, which we are moving next week. Okay.
Okay, last layout for the 3-bedroom compact. This 3-bedroom compact, you actually have the extra store and also a bigger kitchen. Okay, downside is there's no privacy because if you look at the foyer, once you open the door, you can actually look straight into your dining and also your living. Okay, but this layout I would say is good for family with young kids where you have a lot of items that you want to store. Okay, if let's say you don't need any storage area, what you can do is you can hack down this storeroom and create into something that you need. For example, if let's say you have a helper, you can actually turn this into a helper room. Or if you work from home, you can actually turn this into a study area, a work area, like what we did to our unit at Park Life. So what we did is we actually bought a 3+ flex unit and we turned this flex unit, this flex area into our work area.
So to summarize the 3-bed compact, our top choice for the 3-bed compact are non-premium. So non-premium means those without home shelter, which are the ones that we covered. It will be the 818 square feet. Okay, why? I'm assuming that the crowd that are going for this non-premium is because of budget constraint. Okay, 797 square feet, the kitchen position with the bedroom is not normal over here, and I would think that you might face a little bit of rejection in the resale market. Okay, then 829 square feet, what happened is there's not much difference in functionality with the 818 square feet. Then 904 square feet is like a 3+ study. So actually, if you want to go for this, you can just go for a 3-bed premium with a bomb shelter already. So our recommendations, top choice 818, 829, 797, then 904. But of course, if you have budget, right, that means right, you're not constrained to a 3-bedder compact, right, then 904 can be your top choice because this flex layout over here, this store here, is quite highly sought after when we sold other launches. Like people prefer this store. Okay, but if you are on a budget, then of course we follow 818, 829, 797. If you have no budget constraint, 904 can be your top choice.
Okay, next, moving on, 3-bed premium. The first layout, 969 square feet. For this layout, you don't have any wasted space at your walkway, at your foyer. You get a bigger living area with your yard, your WC. Okay, this unit is very similar to what we are selling right now at Park Life. We are selling a unit there. Also, it's a 936 square feet unit. Okay, just that one don't have a household shelter, but this one you actually get a household shelter. So it's a very proper 3-bedroom unit with yard. Okay, very cozy, no wasted space, I would say, no long walkway, and you have whatever that that is required. You also have the window at the kitchen.
Yeah, and the kitchen is bigger compared to the rest. Okay, so for the price, it should be floating around the range of 1.9 million and up okay. So this is for those who want to live comfortably in a 3-bedroom with a bomb shelter, primarily for storage, and also you want a big kitchen like your BTO, but of course your budget also need to up a bit compared to a 3-bed compact. So second layout for the 3-bed premium, this is 980 square feet. The difference here is the household shelter is by the side, and the kitchen right now is of a different shape instead of just now the L shape like that. Okay, so there's a long walkway from the door to the living area. Okay, wasted space, of course, wasted space, you must build cabinets. Okay, so we will prefer 3E over 3F. 3E is the previous layout over here, whereby there's not much wasted space once you come into from the door. Okay, 11 square feet difference, this is 11 square feet bigger. Functionality doesn't really improve that much. So if no choice, no good queue number, then you can consider this 3F. Okay, next 3G, this is 990 square feet, so previously it's 980. This is 10 square feet difference. Similarly to 3F just now, not much difference, the functionality. But what you get here, you get a small pond view over here. But you're also nearer to MRT, you can get a little bit of noise. Of course, there'll be some barrier of course, but of course, there'll be some noises okay. So we will actually prefer this compared to 3F just now. Over here, 3F is facing hospital. 3G is facing small pond and also the MRT. How come? Because like what I mentioned earlier, this might be the sweet spot for this development for the 3-bedder and below. Okay, so if it's really the sweet spot, this might be priced cheaper compared to the previous layout here, which is of a smaller size.
Next, you have the 3-bed with yard 1012 square feet unit. Okay, quite similar to what you have just now, but for this layout, you get this extra walk-in wardrobe compared to the 3E. Not necessary for the upgrade unless you have a lot of clothes, or let's say you will require like 2 beds in a master bedroom. For example, you need to put 2 queen because your 2 kids are sleeping together with you guys. So for this layout is suitable for families who have young kids sleeping together with them in the master bedroom. So you get this walk-in wardrobe at the other side, and for this whole area you can actually place your bed.
Yeah. So for this one, we don't think it's necessary for the upgrade, but if you want space, of course you can go for it. This one you can even put a study table over here. Ample space.
Okay. Next layout, very similar to what you have just now, just that for this layout you are facing the pool, but the previous layout you actually facing the hospital. Okay, this layout, I would say this type 3I might be priced a bit more expensive than the previous layout, which is 3H, because this is pool facing, even though it's same size.
So for the second last layout for the 3-bedder with yard, this is 1023 square feet. It's extra walk-in wardrobe space. So this one is a slightly different. You get ample space. This one you can really fit a study table over here, but the kitchen is smaller now. Okay, instead of the L shape just now. So we might actually prefer this over the other previous 2 layout with walk-in wardrobe, because why? I think right now you can see is a bigger living area. Okay, so when you are in the resale market, you might feel a little bit more comfortable, the feeling that you give off to the buyers.
The last layout for the 3-bed premium is 1033 square feet. For this layout, you have the long walkway and also no privacy at the foyer area. As you can see, when you open the door, you can see your living and dining area. Okay, but one good thing to note is for this, the kitchen, you have the glass panel. So your natural light can come into the house, can go inside the kitchen, and then also when you are doing your cooking, you can actually oversee what is happening in the living and dining area.
Yeah, so when you stand here, your whole view of the living actually feels even wider compared to the other layouts, because the other layout is solid wall. So that one a bit claustrophobic, but this one you actually get a good view. This one is the SHOWFLAT model layout. Okay, so this one we will prefer this over the previous layout just now, even though this is slightly bigger with a long walkway. Okay, so summarizing our top choice for the 3-bed premium with yard. Okay, not taking into consideration the sweet spot pricing, because that's to be verified later when developer release the price. So based on just purely layout, I think the top choice for the 3-bed premium with yard will be the 969 square feet. Because why? Firstly, compared to the rest, right? First one we compare to will be the 980 square feet over here. Okay, this one. So 980 square feet doesn't have difference in the functionality. Extra wasted walkway space over here. Then your kitchen smaller compared to this L-shaped kitchen over here. Okay, so 990, same reasoning as 980. Okay, but if this is really the sweet spot pricing that we actually identified, right, then the price point will make it attractive. Then we can consider this as the first choice. Okay, got view, small palm view, and it's cheaper. Okay, so 1012 square feet and 1023 square feet is only the extra walk-in wardrobe space. But the kitchen is still better than the 990 and 980. Okay, 1033 kitchen is the best because of the glass panel. Okay, so our first choice, of course, is the 969 square feet over here. This one is very, very solid. Aside from the fact that it has a solid wall for the kitchen. Yeah, okay. But other than that, the next one will be 1033 square feet. Okay, 969 square feet followed by 1033 because of the kitchen glass panel, followed by 1012, 1023, then 980, then 990. But highlight again, if it's really as what we predicted, the sweet spot is at the 990 square feet, that one, close to MRT, small palm view, then 990 will be our first choice.
Okay, 4-bedroom. The first layout, 1130 square feet. For this layout, very nice layout. You get the pond view also. Very likely you get the view face loading for this unit. Okay, but this one will be more expensive lah. But like what Elvin mentioned earlier, for 4-bedder, most of your buyer is for own stay, so it's very emotional one. When they come into the unit, right, the 感觉 must be right. When they come to the unit, they can see that, oh wow, pond, there's nothing, is totally unblocked. So your distance to the next block is actually very far away. Things like that, you will create a wow factor.
Yeah, so we felt this firsthand when we actually visited a condo in the north The condo is estuary lah, so we went on buyers. It's also one of our YouTube buyers. Okay, so we went to, I think it was a level 8 unit. It was facing the reservoir. Okay, so when you open the door, wow, you should see the reservoir, right? Honestly, even I was wowed lah. I was telling Joyce, if we never buy our unit, we'll buy this one. Because it's the feeling, you step in, you're like, wow, this view is like you cannot get anywhere one.
And somehow, you know, when you step into the unit, right, until the end of the balcony is a distance away. But once you open the door, you can feel it already.
Yeah, the okay, but the developer also know lah, so that's why they will charge a premium over here for sure. And adding on this 4-bedder, one downside I would say is there's no landscape layout over here. 4-bedder, we always love landscape layout. Okay, and also the kitchen has no glass panel. Very interesting, how come no glass panel? Okay, so next layout 4B. This one 113 square feet, same as 4A. Okay, but we will prefer the 4A over 4B because of the pond view and the wow factor that we mentioned earlier.
Okay, the last layout for 1130 square feet, we still have one more upcoming layout, but this will be the last for the 1130. 1130, they actually have 3 layouts, but all same sizes. Okay, so this one is inward facing, as similar to the previous one, same as the previous one, I would say. Okay, but the difference is, if you realize the walk-in wardrobe is actually tucked away in one corner. So if let's say today your guest comes in, right, when they walk from here, they don't see anything here. But for the previous layout, right, when your guest comes in from the main door, right, they can see, your walk-in wardrobe is over here. So the feeling is a bit different lah, because it's actually totally clear one. Okay, so this is the slight difference for the layout. Kitchen is a bit smaller for this unit. I might prefer the previous layout lah, because of the bigger kitchen. As mentioned earlier, 4-bedder is usually for own stay, bigger family, or like family with kids. So the kitchen is quite important lah.
Yeah, and when you hit resale, you meet those people, a lot of buyers, they come see for own stay one, they will say, wow, 这个厨房这样小. Always standard one, because we sell a lot of resale also, so we always hear this. Okay? So for the last layout for the 4-bed non-premium, okay, so the difference between the 4-bed we are talking about now and the next ones that we are talking about, right? That one you get a 3rd bathroom. Okay, this one you only got 2 and 1 WC. Okay, so for this 1141 square feet, you get a long walkway. Okay, so you must build the cabinets beside, like what we mentioned earlier. Okay, but the good thing here is, guys, the kitchen has glass panel. It will make the whole house look bigger over here. Okay, so you can directly look into the living area when you're cooking or when you're in the kitchen. So it's very good for family with kids. 4-bedders, most of the time, they have kids.
When you have this glass panel over here, right, as compared to a solid wall, your whole house will actually look bigger somehow. Like how, ideally when you are renovating a house, you tend to install mirror in the house to make the whole house feels bigger, right? Yeah, so this one will create the effect also. You will feel that like the whole house is bigger. Okay, so this unit, you get the slight pond view from over here and also here. Okay, and then we will actually recommend this unit over the previous 3 layout, mainly because of the kitchen and also the view.
Okay, to sum it up, for the 4-bed with non-premium, top choice will be the 1141 square feet. You can see that we are quite biased. Okay, but we are not selling it, okay? We are not selling this to you guys. It's just our personal opinion. Okay, why? Because for the 4A, 1130 square feet, direct pond view. For here, direct pond view. This one, you have to pay a premium. Okay? 4B, same size, no pond view, making it go to the back of 4A. Okay, 4C 110, same size, also no pond view, kitchen even smaller over here. Okay, so that's why this 1141 4D will be our best layout for the 4-bed without premium. Okay, so if you can, strongly suggest you can go for this because I think it will give you an edge over the rest when you hit the resale market.
Moving on to the biggest unit type of this whole development, 1259 square feet unit. Okay, so for 4-bedroom premium, we actually have 3 layouts, this being the biggest 1259 square feet. Okay, you actually get a bigger master bedroom and also additional toilet. And your 3rd and 2nd bedroom is actually Jack and Jill to 1 toilet. Okay, one main thing to note is you get this glass panel in the kitchen. Okay, 200k more, about approximately 200k more for a bigger master bedroom, extra bathroom, a potential junior master at your bedroom 4, compared to the non-premium.
And this you also get partial pond view over here. Okay, so I feel if you have the budget, this might be worth the upgrade for you. Okay, so the next layout for the 4-bed premium yard, 1249 square feet, 10 square feet difference. Once again, we don't have glass panel in the kitchen, so of course we will lean towards the one with the glass panel. So 4F will be after 4E, our top choice. I mean, our first choice will be 4E first. So even though this is direct pool facing, like what I mentioned earlier, you'll pay a premium, okay, for a not as desirable layout as well because of the kitchen over here, okay.
Okay, last layout, 1249 square feet, same size as the previous layout that Alvin mentioned. It's also 10 square feet smaller than the 4E. Okay, so this one, the view is actually facing the top, which is also the pond. You get the small partial pond view and also the hospital, and don't have the glass panel inside the kitchen.
Okay, to sum it up, for the top choice, very obvious, it's the 1259 square feet. Okay, why glass panel kitchen? Buy 4-bedder, right? Once again, the feeling must be good, and these kind of small details actually makes a difference to your future buyers. So you will definitely be able to stand out, and you still get a small pocket pond view, even though it's not full white frontage. Okay, so the other two 4-bedder actually have no glass panel in the kitchen. Okay.
Okay, so we have come to the end of our video, and we hope you have some takeaway from our video.
Yeah, so preview is already ongoing. So if you have already placed your check, then you have to mind your unit selection. So let us know what you think about the project in the comment section below. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.